I bet you're dying to know how I can make this about the Leafs, and I'm gonna.
Uh-huh.
Everyone is ripping on this city right now, and why would anyone sign there? I'm not a New York Rangers hater. I think the league is a better place when they do well. Why on earth would anybody sign with the New York Rangers right now?
I'm going to stop you right there and say we said this exact same thing right before Vegas won a cup.
No.
Because we were like, well, they're screwing with people and signing long-term deals and they're great punting them out the door.
Wait a minute. You're okay. I see the point. Punting them out the door. They got everything against them. Pressure. Oh, you don't like pressure? Well, you don't want to sign in New York.
Right, that's true.
You don't like the high taxes? Oh, well, you don't want to sign in New York. You don't like teams that don't honor your contract? Well, then you don't want to sign in New York. Oh, I want to be on a winning team. I have terrible news for you. Right now, you don't want to sign in New York. What, are they up and coming?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, they are they a vet team ready to take that next step?
I think
next step for them is making the playoffs.
I think they're in the playoffs again next year.
Okay. High up?
No idea.
They win a round? They win 2? Like, things might turn around for them, but this is the third guy who's been a loyal soldier for them who they're fucking. They're completely screwing this person. And it's a horrible look. It was a horrible look when Vegas did it. The only reason it's not a horrible look now is because they won. We were all like, Vegas is, those guys are pieces of shit. And then they won. And we're like, oh, they won. Mm-hmm. You know, same with the to a different degree, the Panthers a little bit. Like, oh man, all those guys do is break the rules all day long and try to hurt people. And they keep winning games. And you're like, well, I suppose that's how you win then. So Vegas did it, and we're like, well, suppose that's how you win. And what did the Rangers do after they lost Barclay Goodrow, one of their most consistent playoff performers, and Jake Trouba, who's their captain, and Chris Kreider, who, honest to God, if the Rangers had a Legends row, like, he'd be in the running, especially if he stayed. They're brutal. Mm-hmm. Now, they can get rid of his whole contract without retaining, which is what we kept saying as well. If they're trading him, they got to retain.
Anaheim can do this. Anaheim can do this.
Yeah, I understand why the Rangers are doing it. Don't get me wrong. But if I'm a player, I got no appetite for that.
Yeah, but then you get to go. You go to New York and you're like, damn. Now you can't relate to this because downtowns don't hold anything for you. But there are a lot of people.
I've been to New York.
I know you've been to New York, but I
got ripped off.
You're not like there are some people that love that metropolitan, always alive feel. Where I don't think that appeals to you personally. And so, no, am I wrong?
So
okay, yeah, no. Nobody loves being in New York, especially if you're rich.
No. So now you're appealing to a very niche player at this point.
I don't know.
They are on their way down. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of question marks. All management does is screw their players, whether you just got here or you've been here forever. They have high taxes. They're not winning. Why are you going there? Because you like
I think that's exactly why.
So the main reason to sign with the New York Rangers is there's no other
Panarin,
Shesterkin. There's no other good goalies. Also, how about that good goalie? B's a good goalie. Been a while. Panarin, hard fall off. You think he loves it there? I'm going at them. Listen, we should scrutinize every team the way the Leafs are scrutinized. Mm-hmm. Why would you sign with the Rangers?
Jesse, why would you sign with the Rangers?
There isn't a reason.
I think the Chris Kreider trade, as it's outlined right now, is a fantastic deal for the New York Rangers.
Yes.
The fact that they're going to get rid of the full contract and get assets back from Anaheim is a pretty good deal for them. And Anaheim, on the other end, if they believe that this is a step forward year, they're getting a pretty good player who I think could have a good bounce back year. I don't think the Rangers should be paying that contract because of how their salary cap is structured, but the Anaheim Ducks certainly can. And if they're getting a good player like that, I think it's a good deal for them too. I hope they don't pay too many assets for the sake of Ducks fans.
Yes, that makes no sense.
And if they do, then the Rangers just look even better. So,
listen,
I understand this deal.
They're doing the right thing, and this is Chris Kreider's job. He's doing his job, but
Chris Drury's job.
What did I say?
You said Chris Kreider's
Oh,
job.
Kreider. Sorry, the other Chris. Battle of the Chris's. Chris Drury is doing a good job here, and he's doing right by the Rangers, and therefore he's doing right by the fans. But there is a human element to this. I don't understand why a player would sign there.
To me, like the beginning of your sentence is the beginning and end of it. He's doing his job and he's doing it well. He has
Maybe
to
it's
honor.
as simple as that.
He has to honor the crest of the front of the jersey and not the guys on the back, unfortunately. And his role right now is to clear that salary for a player he doesn't think is going to be worth it. And doing this deal and getting assets back is pretty tidy business.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to be confused about my take. If they're able to get rid of Chris Kreider
Totally.
without having to pay any of his salary, that's crazy.
I think people understand you're defending the human side of it.
Yeah, I mean, jeez.
Because you're soft biatch, you know?
It's true. It's true. You know, I didn't think you needed to call me a name. Call me Steven or
I
Sir.
gotta say, I like this deal as a shot in the dark for the Ducks, who probably, I think people completely underrate them. They were like third last in goals for this season, but
And he
they
does
still had
really
80 points, man. And so you get 5 more wins, just 5. You're in playoff contention-ish. You're right there.
Yep.
5 or 6 wins, you're in the playoffs.
Yep.
And I just wonder, or at least you're fighting for the wild
You're there.
card, whatever. No,
You're
96 is what you need. So they're going to need a lot more. But if you go get, because that was the cutoff, 96 points. But you're challenging at the end, which is what they got to do to take a step forward. The Ducks, Chris Kreider and Jake Trouba have got to be kind of, you know, if you're Chris Kreider, like you got to be sort of excited about where the Ducks are going. And what they need is what you do. He scores, they don't. And
Yes,
He
you
used to score.
He used to score.
Yes.
And
He scored this year. Not a lot, but
Yeah.
No,
he
yeah,
still got 22 goals, which I think might lead the
22
Ducks.
is
Still might lead the
it's
Ducks.
not nothing.
He's going to get a lot more opportunities. You know, your PP1 on that. You're playing with a bunch of young kids who are just excited to be there.
Hopefully he
Greg
gets more
Cronin
than-
is not the coach anymore. Thank the Lord.
More than 4 assists.
You know, I don't know, man. If you're Kreider's, like, I don't know if he's been asked yet, but I feel like he probably should be. I mean, they've got palm trees. You should be excited.
Yeah, but you know what they don't have?
What?
Yeah.
They do have the ugliest jerseys besides the Stars in the entire National Hockey League. We saw them in person. They're so ugly. They're terrible.
I have a hard time defending the orange.
They're terrible.
Yeah.
I hate the orange.
I hate it.
The worst jerseys in the league.
Yeah.
There's a few teams that cheat by having a black jersey, but like with the Ducks, it's honest. And that one looks cool. Well, except which one? Is it the one with orange stripes or the one with orange stripes or the one with orange stripes or the one with orange stripes? They have 40 different jerseys. They keep screwing with it.
Yeah.
It's the Zit jersey. They just keep picking at it.
Yeah.
They just keep picking it. Pick a jersey and leave it. I'll respect you more if you just leave it at orange, honestly.
I think they should have stuck with the Mighty Ducks Korea color scheme.
Yes.
Like, even if you're going to change the jerseys away from the cartoonish Mighty Ducks stuff and just go Ducks, I think you should have kept purple, green, and like the white. Like, it was a beautiful color scheme. I don't know why they had to go completely away from it and just go black and orange.
If Brian Burke had not won a cup there, we'd be looking at him like an absolute menace. What did you do to that team? First of all, you took Mighty out of their name. Second of all, you just made them some generic team with black and a different colored accent, and that's your entire identity. But they won, so who cares?
They won, yeah. And just for context, Kreider's 22. It's a little goals when you're coming off 52 and then
Yes.
39 and then 36 goals.
Yes.
He needs to score a little bit more back to that 30 goal pace.
I don't
40
think
goal pace even.
Oh my God. I would love to see him get that.
I don't think players as good as him forget how to play hockey. I think his body was broken, and if he recovers from that, he'll be on his way.
How much medical information do you think the Ducks would have? Because I would want to know. Like, if he was coming to Toronto, we mused about that. If we could get 2 seasons ago, Chris Kreider,
Yeah.
he'd be a great ad.
Yeah.
He'd be incredible.
I wanted the Leafs to do a deal like this. I think
Yes.
this could work out.
How do I
Like,
say
what kind of
this?
information are they going to give you?
There's not yet an abundance of evidence Pat Verbeek knows what he's doing. So I'm very curious to see how this works out.
Man, that Cutter Gauthier deal looks better and better and better and better. I
That's
told you, it's
on
one of
his
the worst
side.
trades. That's the new sod for Panarin. Just terrible. Awful trade.
He looked good, man.
I'm telling you, the Flyers set the rebuild back by that.
Remember
They did.
when he didn't do all that great for like the first 2 weeks? And Flyers fans were like, "Bleh."
Yeah, rather Drysdale. Yeah,
Oh man, no, he looks real good. He looks real good, man. Anaheim is increasingly. I'm on board for this. They're increasingly an interesting team to follow going forward. And I mean, the Rangers are always a gong show.
There's conversation about in Anaheim, or at least when people talk about Anaheim, and there's very little. Like Zach Kavanaugh is a really good follow for the Ducks, but
Brett Kavanaugh?
Not Brett Kavanaugh.
Oh my God!
Not
what? He's not running for the Ducks.
No. Somewhere keeping a calendar. No, I
random shout out by Adam.
Zach Kavanaugh.
You know, there are other Kavanaughs.
Anybody with Kavanaugh in their last name is like, yeah, I hate that guy, man.
Like, I got a DM from a guy. I got a DM from a guy yesterday who just goes, "Don't worry, Dangle, I hate him too, but it's still weird. His name is Sam Bennett."
Oh, no way! That's so funny.
Spelled the same way and everything.
So funny.
Same way and everything. He's like, "Oh man, I hate him too, but this is
You
weird."
got to start going by Samuel.
Samuel.
You know?
Yeah.
That's
Sammy
his
B.
legal name though. Sam Bennett's legal name is Samuel.
Oh yeah, so you can't. But everybody calls him Sam. You got to
I
just
know.
differentiate somehow.
But if you look at the draft combine stuff where he couldn't do a pull up, it says Samuel Bennett.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Brett Kavanaugh said something.
with Zach Kavanaugh's a good follow
I
for
like
that,
beer.
but I feel like when you're talking about the
Like
Ducks,
beer.
every single time you talk about the Ducks, it's just because it's been the story is okay. Well, now they got Lucas Dostal, so John Gibson must be traded now. And I look
John
at their
Gibson's been traded for 6 years.
for 6 years, and you know what? I look at and I saw it in an article literally last week again, and I'm like, okay.
I would be retired.
They have-
as a Duck. I really do.
They have two of the John Gibson had a great season last
He
year.
legitimately
And
did.
Why, if you're the Ducks, if you have figured out the most important position in hockey, would you trade him?
Well,
Keep him now.
Now wait, though.
$6.4 million ain't so bad anymore.
The problem with his $6.4 million over the years has been, he's not stopping pucks. Now that he is, like, maybe a team will want him.
No. You don't do that now. You don't do that now. You keep that. Because every game, you're in it. If you have two goalies like Dostal and Gibson, you're in it. You can win any game with those two.
The Boston Bruins used that strategy to get the best record in the history of the National Hockey League in the regular season.
And they moved off of it a year before they had to.
Yeah.
2 Vezina winning goalies, and they just ran show for 82 games.
100%. I could see Anaheim being one of the least scored against teams next year.
Now, let me throw a reason at you for why they might move off of Gibson. I look at Lucas Dostal's cap hit, no current contract.
Yeah, RFA.
So what? You have $30 million. Who cares?
Wow.
You're not going to. They are
He's
not
going to eat up some of that, and then you're going to get Kreider.
Oh, man. You might only have $22 million left.
What
are you going to do?
If you're the Leafs, that gets you 2 players.
I don't. All I'm saying is if you're going to spend.
Yeah, Mitch is easily worth 22. Said everyone his agent has
I
spoken
got a
to.
text from an agent saying that's one player.
Yeah. It's weird. It says Mitch Marner is worth $22 million, and it's an oddly menacing photo of my front door. I don't understand.